In this episode, Justin is searching for an octopus. After finding lots of different species, he ends up witnessing an octopus fight. Welcome to Critter Hunter.
Welcome back, guys. Right now it is octopus season and I'm gonna go searching for some octopus. I got another big YouTuber that just moved to Dauin that wants me to show him some of the best sites. It'd be a crying shame if you lived in one of the best dive locations on the planet and didn't know where to go. So he's gonna be joining me to search for octopus today. But guess what? I've been saying that I got some news coming, and there's a little bit I can talk about right now. I'm taking over a dive shop here in Dauin, and it's called Biodiverse, Dive Resort, and they're just opened this week. They totally rebuilt, remodeled everything, the hotel and pool and restaurant, and we're still building the dive shop, and then they should be open on December 1. So let's go check that out. Then we'll go meet our friends and do some diving. So this is our chef Carlo, and so years ago when this place was opened, you made a famous shawarma, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna do that again, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's
and
available.
now the kitchen is way bigger and everything.
Yeah, it's under construction, but almost 3 to 4 days, and then it's finished.
Yeah, we'll be finished before December 1, I think. So, and you do awesome other stuff, hamburgers and everything.
The hamburger.
Sweet.
Our signature hamburger.
Yeah, we gotta try the shawarma though. Everybody's been talking about it. Hey! We're not diving here today because we have a secret octopus spot we have to go to. Just actually, you can, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but that's where we're going. But this is a cool spot up. We got a shower here for the pool, but then we got steps down to the beach, and they got a shower there for cleaning gear and all that. We can clean off the sand or salt water and clean our dive gear and go down or come back up, I mean. So awesome area. And as you can see, this is the main public beach of Dauin, and this is the, I don't know if you can see the buoys, but the main sanctuary. So awesome spot. Sheila!
Hi.
So you're gonna be here for our get together next month?
For the next month, maybe next year.
Next year. She'll be here. You guys come say hi. All right, we are at the beach, and this is the same dive site from my last episode, but right now is octopus season and they've been everywhere, multiple species. So like I said, we gotta find them, and we got some friends with us. Matt from Isla Familia. Isla. I'll put the link down below, but he just arrived in Dauin. He's living here now. We got to show him some different dive sites, so that's the goal today.
He living here 3 years, so for sure he can show me some good dive sites. Yeah?
Now
we can have some fun. So I really appreciate.
Now the pressure's on. Probably not going to see anything. If we don't see anything on the first dive, we'll pick another one for the second dive.
Doesn't matter, man. I already dive on the tires there, so.
Oh, way over there. Well, it can only be better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It cannot be worse.
Worst comes to worst. At least there's no. It's not hot. It'll be nice underwater. So yeah, we're on the beach right now, gearing up. Let's go dive. Sir Alex.
Yeah.
You in octopus mode today?
Yeah. Got to do.
We gotta find them octopus before my wife eats them. No fog for me.
Let's go.
I know we're looking for octopus on this dive, but I gotta stop and say hi to this little guy. It's a little leaf sheep, and he's living on this tiny little leaf. And of course, it's not really a leaf, it's actually an algae. And these guys are tiny. As you can see here, I really have to zoom in, and it's not very easy with all this current going by. Right next door, though, is this giant mantis shrimp. And this is a peacock mantis. And as you can see, he is much bigger than his little tiny leaf sheep neighbor. Just look at those eyes. He let me get a close-up on those eyes, and they're one of the most intriguing eyes of the whole ocean. Now, this peacock mantis, they don't normally sit there and let you film them, but I think he was sitting on a crab or something and having lunch, so he didn't want to move very much. These guys are also hunters of little tiny octopus, so I gotta keep my eye out. I better find him before he does. And then the next thing we found wasn't an octopus, but one of its close relatives. The flamboyant cuttlefish. As you guys know, I film these a lot, but they've always been at the top of my bucket list when I came to Asia. This is probably one of my favorite critters of all time. And you can see why. These guys never swim, they just walk around on their little weird feet, and they're pretty dang hilarious. But they're not just cute and funny looking, they're also intriguing. That camouflage pattern that I always talk about is always mesmerizing to watch. And I think that's the point. I think when they're hunting for the little shrimps or something, they like to just kind of hypnotize them and distract them so that they can stay still and be caught. We later found out that this guy stuck around. He wasn't hunting, but protecting his eggs. Underneath a nearby log, we found some eggs, but I didn't want to disturb them, so I didn't film them. This mother-to-be is certainly colorful, though. As fast as flipping a switch, she can change colors to look exactly like her surroundings, and even change textures and shape of her body to look like sand or anything else. Here's a bit of a close-up of that color changing ability, and you can just see all the little ink sacs and light. It's just amazing. We go a little bit deeper, and we found our first octopus of the day. And it's the cousin of the blue ring octopus, one of the most poisonous critters in the entire ocean, the matodi octopus. The matodi, as you can see, has a little blue ring on the side of his neck. Just one ring, as opposed to the blue ring octopus that has them all over his body. But I'm sure it's meant to tell other critters that it's poisonous and to stay away. as poisonous as these guys are, they sure are cute. And you would think they're huge, but they're actually only a few inches tall. He was later hiding in this leaf that had flown by, and I could only film his eyes poking out. These guys hide anywhere. He didn't have a shell or anything to hide in, so he was just folding this leaf in half, trying to hide inside like an envelope. That just tells you how small these octopus really are. This guy really didn't want to be disturbed. He kept hiding in his little leaf envelope. So I filmed him for a few minutes from a distance and then let him go on his way. By now the current is really kicking up and it's really difficult to film these guys with a steady shot. I'm having to stab my long metal stick into the sand just to hold on. And I felt like a flag on a flagpole while holding the camera steady, looking at this little tiny octopus. It's quite the feat. But it's definitely worth it in the end, when I get to see one of the most rare and awesome little octopus on the planet. He finally came out of his little leaf envelope and started crawling around. And as you can see, they can really change color just like the flamboyant. But they're a lot more interested in camouflage and hiding, looking like its surroundings. These guys got a lot of enemies, including that mantis shrimp from before. Nearby, I saw some movement, so I went to take a look, and it was a feathered sea star. And inside, like there usually is, was this little tiny squat lobster. These guys are real small, and always up for a close-up with my camera. I like filming these guys. I'm always intrigued by the different camouflage patterns in the ocean, and these guys are no different. Feathered sea stars come in all sorts of different colors, and anytime you look at one, the squat lobster that lives inside is adapted to whatever color that is. As you can see, this one's black and white stripes, just like the star. He's sure got some long arms with the claws on the end. They're about as long as his body. I guess he scores real high on that ape index. Here you can see, as I zoomed out, how that feather sea star looks. And he was actually walking along the bottom. I mean, real slow, but still. He was lifting his arms and walking along, and that squat lobster was up for the ride. A little bit more shallow today, I ran into another octopus. This one, a coconut octopus. And these guys I'm always fascinated to watch. They always have either two shells of a coconut or maybe two big clam shells, and they use those to hide in. They just grab one in each arm and fold it over their body and hide. But unfortunately today, this guy didn't have a home at all. He wasn't performing those iconic behaviors that photographers love to film, and I just had to follow him along as he walked around in the sand. I think next time I'm going to bring a giant clamshell and gift this guy a mansion. Just to say thank you for letting me film him so long. I don't know what he was doing without a home. Maybe he was out and about hunting. Sometimes I see holes and stuff that are surrounded by broken shells and snails and stuff like that octopus bring back to their house and crack open. Maybe that's what he was up to. But then I found one of my favorite octopus in the entire ocean. The wonderpuss. I absolutely love finding wonderpuss, and they're one of the hardest to film. When they see divers coming, they actually like to dive down into the dirt and hide. They're not a playful or easy one to film like a coconut octopus that will just sit out there in the open or use their camouflage and try to hide. These guys like to bury themselves deep down. But somehow today I got really lucky and I got to film this guy just walking along the bottom. It was amazing. You can see why these guys are one of the coolest octopus in the seas. They're just so colorful, not necessarily camouflaged, but they still have the ability to change colors and flash and confuse their predators, and maybe even their prey. This guy has a really small body, maybe 3 inches long, but the arms are really long, making it quite big, maybe the size of a dinner plate, all in all. And they're real fascinating when you first come upon them. It looks like a bunch of sea snakes sitting in the sand. Then you realize it's a wonderpuss. The mimic octopus actually looks really similar. It has just a few differences that you have to pay attention to know them apart. But this one is definitely a wonderpuss. I didn't want to disturb this guy too long. He was hunting, probably wanted a snack, so I didn't film for very long, and I was a little bit tired from fighting the current, so I let this guy go eventually. Thanks, little guy, for letting me film. You know it's a good day when you see flamboyant cuttlefish and a wonderpuss all in one dive. You can't really ask for much more than that. And on top of that, we saw other octopus at the same time. It's just amazing. Dauin has everything. This dive site is really amazing during the octopus season here in Dauin, because not far away we found this algae octopus. Now, at the time, I had no idea that this was an algae octopus. I had my suspicions, but didn't know if it was a starry-eyed or something else. Certain species are really hard to distinguish apart. Check out this crazy camouflage. Now it looks more like an algae octopus. And look at those hair-like appendages and things coming off its body. How does he do that? Watch, I'm gonna put it in slow motion as they totally disappear and just morph into its body. I have no idea how he does that. It didn't just fold down, it molded into his body like clay. It's incredible. Eventually he leaves his little coconut and wants to go wandering around. Try to get away from my dive lights, probably. Now it looks like a completely different octopus. It's things like this that makes it really hard to identify some. It's not like the wonderpus where it's instantly recognizable. And this is the same octopus, but he's dived down into a hole. And I want to give you a better size comparison, just to give you a better idea of how small they are. So when I put my finger next to him, you can see his whole body is smaller than one finger. I know that when he's zoomed out on video, they look huge, but now you know how tiny they are. And this one's the biggest one of the day. Octopus!
Octopus!
I think we got some good footage.
Yeah.
A year or so ago, I made a video about what dive computers I use, and at the time I was using the ATMOS Mission 1 dive computer, and I've been getting a ton of comments lately of you guys asking me, do I still recommend this? Can you give us an update? You've been using it for a year or two. Is it still good? And the answer is yes. I absolutely love this thing. I can give you a whole bunch of reasons why I still use this. In fact, they sent me another one. I got the one with the gold, rose gold bezel and buttons, and then the black one with silver. And I love this thing. It does everything I need. I'm the kind of guy that doesn't need the craziest tech. I just need something that works, reliable. I can bang around, throw in the car, not worry about it. And in this day and age, when dive computers are starting to be $1,000 plus, I really appreciate having a $400 or $500 computer that works amazing. I think I just looked, this one has over 80 dives on it, and this one has like 90. So they're going strong, and I love that I don't have to worry. Look, they're all scratched up and stuff. I don't have to worry about scratching a $1,000 computer or whatever. So still loving it. And guess what? The company is sending me ATMOS Mission 2. So I'm gonna put that in the link below, but don't worry, as soon as it arrives next week, I'll make a gear review video and show you what the difference is between the Mission 1 and Mission 2. But yeah, just to answer your question, loving it so far. So we had an awesome dive just now at Bonnet's Corner. Saw those octopus, flamboyants, bunch of other stuff like normal. It was kind of fun because my friend never seen a flamboyant cuttlefish, so we got tons of time with that and footage. And now we didn't want to do it again at the same dive site. The current was real bad at the end and everything, so we're debating where to go. We said, why not come to Dumaguete Resort and dive in front of our own house reef? Let's go check out what's there, check out the reef, and make a video. I know there's a lot of reef, but I want to see the critters. I'm gonna go explore, see what's out there. But guys, it's like a really late start, so we're actually gonna bring the night lights because it'll be dark before we're out of the water. That's better for critters, but better not forget your lights. Hello, Judea. The last dive site was all beach and sandy, and there's sand everywhere in my wetsuit. I don't want to put it on with a whole bunch of sand, so I gotta get clean, and then we go dive right here.
Nice.
Hey Matt, you ready?
Yes, sir. Huh?
What do you think about the first dive?
For me, it was awesome. You know, even the current I like because it was kind of funny. Fight with the current and you know these two octopuses we found, Mototi and the coconut.
Yeah.
And the flamboyant cuttlefish I saw first time in my life. I will always like to see it, you know, like during my dive, and now, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that little matodi, he was about this big, and I was filming a leaf, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And then it moved. He's like, "Ah!" I heard him scream underwater. He was, he's happy.
I suspect something is inside of this leaf because you will not spend the time there.
I was like, "Stop! You gotta see this." Anyways, they're waiting. Let's get in the water. We ready, Alex?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's go. What about you?
No.
Everywhere I look on this dive site, there's anemones with clownfish in them. Clownfish of all different species as well. But of course, in true critter hunter style, I looked down in the sand for some different stuff, and I found this cute little cowrie crawling around. It's about the size of a marble. Cowries are a type of snail, and you guys have probably seen them in every souvenir shop on the planet. Well, at least the shells, because they're really collectible as they come in so many different sizes and colors. Once I hit down to about 20 meters, I found this cool little nudibranch. Of course, he is in my book, but it's not one that I see very often. Maybe once or twice every couple months. As you know, I love nudibranch, and I'm working on my second book with my friend Gitan. She's the underwater photographer, and Alex is our spotter, trying to find different species for us. And this guy can definitely make it into the book, as he's one of the cooler and most colorful ones we've seen in a while. As you saw from those measurements, this is pretty small, but of course not the smallest, that's for sure. We definitely see way smaller ones than this. And at about 12 meters, when it's getting a little bit dark, we ran into this common cuttlefish. Now this cuttlefish wasn't scared of our light, and it seems like he was using his camouflage to try to blend into the sand around him. Now this guy was way bigger than the flamboyant cuttlefish we had seen on the previous dive, and we were about to see another flamboyant cuttlefish real close to this guy. All cuttlefish are similar, of course, but this species swims a lot more than the flamboyant does. And here you can see him trying to blend into the sand, and they have really perfect camouflage. It'd be hard to see him if you're a predator. Those little tentacles up front are super cute though. I have no idea what he's trying to do here. Maybe scare me away or what? But I think his nerve got the best of him, and I got a little too close, so he kind of took off. You can see he's still using his front tentacles, or at least two of them, to kind of walk along the bottom. But he doesn't have those weird little feet in the back like the flamboyant does. He's swimming on the back half. These guys are so strange. Yeah, I want to compare the flamboyant cuttlefish because we've seen them a little bit after this. This guy is about the size of a football, while the other is about the size of a golf ball. and they look completely different. And here they are, side by side. And you can see, of course, they're very closely related, and yet look completely different. And here's that second flamboyant of the day. And I just sat there filming him, following him a little bit. But I just love these guys. And compared to the other broad club cuttlefish or common cuttlefish, these guys are really not scared of people. You know, they might back away a little bit at first because of the lights. But eventually, if you don't push it, they just kind of walk around and ignore you. Hunting. They seem to always be hunting little crabs and shrimp and stuff. When you can find them, they make the perfect little subjects for photo and videos. In a real silty area of this dive site, I ran into a coconut octopus. Now this guy didn't have a coconut shell or a couple of seashells to hide in, but he had found a perfect home in this hollow bamboo. I wanted to show you a size comparison compared to my finger, just like that last octopus, but he wanted a little handshake. But it was a little scary. I didn't know if he wanted to bite me or love me or what. Goodbye. And then not 20 feet away, I found another coconut octopus. And not only did he have his coconut and seashell, but it was a mobile home. He got in and took off. Once he found a nice parking spot, he erected his house and got inside. I don't think you're hiding very well, little buddy. I can still see you. This area is so sandy and silty, it was hard to film with all the particles in the water, but I wasn't about to pass this up. This guy was cute. Now, he only had one half of a coconut shell and a small seashell, but he didn't care. He improvised. He just put them together and made a house. And it was quite the modular home. He was always peeking out at me, though. And sometimes a fish would swim by, a little tiny one, that was attracted to my lights, and he would come out and try to grab it. But eventually, he must have seen the other coconut octopus across the way, because he just ditched his home and ran, going straight for him. This one just sat in his bamboo and didn't seem too interested in the other one. The other one set up shop right next to his hole and was probing the area. Then all of a sudden, when the camera's not ready, there was an epic fight. It looked like 16 snakes fighting for about 3 seconds. I didn't know what to do. I barely had my camera on when they were getting it on. The bamboo coconut octopus scared the other one away. And then he puffed up, tried to look scary, and started going back for round 2. never mind. And then I ran into one of the weirdest little critters I've ever seen, and I still have no idea what it is. It's not a nudibranch, doesn't seem to be a snail. I have no idea what this is. I wasn't even going to use it in this video, but I wanted to see if any of you guys knew what it was. It's so funny looking. It's just like a white blob with a few yellow spikes, and then some kind of weird foot that slithers around. I still have no idea what to call this thing. Let me know in the comments below if you're a marine biology expert and maybe you've seen this before. I'd love to know the name. So weird. This site definitely had a lot more reef, and I could see angelfish and all kinds of reef fish just swimming everywhere. Such a beautiful place. It's not always all about muck diving, even though that's what I normally film here in Dauin. We actually have some of the best reef in the country. There's another nudibranch, and this one is quite common. I see these guys pretty much once a week at least. You'll definitely see it in the book. This thing is long and skinny, as you can see for yourself. It's about 1 inch long, so you can imagine how skinny it is. The current was really kicking up at this time, and this little guy was having a hard time holding on to his little rock. I knew how he felt. I was having a hard time keeping the camera in position. My friend called me over because he saw a snowflake eel poking its head out. And when I set up the camera on the tripod, I noticed there's 2 of them. I see these guys so often that I don't even film them anymore. But you know what? Sometimes it's fun just to set up a camera and see what happens. Start paying attention to things that I normally take for granted because I see them so often. And remember that sometimes you guys haven't seen them before, and maybe you want to see them. You don't always need to see the most rare things on the planet, like a blue ring octopus. Maybe you just want to see something that's relatively common. So, I just sat there and filmed these 2. Whoa, that was a good dive, huh?
Yes, sir.
What do you think? We saw your second flamboyant cuttlefish. I didn't think...
Second in my life and second today.
Yeah, 2 dives, 2 flamboyant cuttlefish. We saw the regular cuttlefish too, right? You saw that?
I saw like the nice
on the
big
first one, but on the second one we saw a regular one. He looked the same exact color as the sand, right?
Yeah. Also here, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm already confused with these 2 dives.
There's
I don't
so
know
many, huh?
which I saw on the first dive and what the second.
Yeah, turtles. It turned into a night dive at the end, like I knew. 90-minute dive, by the way.
90 minutes.
And all the turtles are sleeping on the reef. I think you got to go to his channel because you know me, I don't film the big stuff. But anyways, that was my first dive at Backy Resort, and I'll be here for now on. And now we know what the house reef looks like and all the critters. So I think he had an awesome first dive with me. First 2 dives.
Yes, sir.
Lots of critters. All right, man.
Okay.
Good times.
Yeah, good time.